What's going on, guys? Stephen here with you, S&E's Garage. Today we're here in the garage with the jet pump from the 2013 Kawasaki jet ski that we just picked up. And if you watch my previous video, you will see that we have actually found out that this unit is seized. Now, when I went ahead and removed the little rubber gasket here, that basically this is the gasket that seals the pump to the ski itself. Usually you'll find that this surface is extremely corroded, and on this jet pump it isn't. So that tells me that this pump is not the original pump and it has been replaced before. So we're actually going to try to save this, and that's going to save us anywhere from $400 to $600 depending on where you get a new housing or how you go about doing it. So we have the special tool here that goes into the end of the impeller, and we're going to go ahead and pull this thing apart. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to flip this thing this way, and we're going to go ahead and remove these 4 bolts. They should be 12 or 13 millimeters, and we're going to remove this whole nozzle from the pump, and we're going to set it aside, and then we're going to focus on the pump itself. So let me get you set up on the tripod, and we're going to get right into it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and remove these 4 12 millimeter bolts like I had mentioned. Number 1. There's number 2. There's number 3. And there's number 4. And what that's going to allow us to do is go ahead and remove this whole nozzle assembly, and we're going to set this off to the side. So now what we are left with here is basically the jet pump itself. So all we have here is the jet pump. You'll see here's our impeller, which, as you know, is seized, and on this side is where all of our bearings are. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get an Allen key that fits in the center of this nose cone. We're going to pull this cone out. Now on this particular pump, it's going to be an 8 millimeter Allen key. Okay, and we're going to pull that out. And now that that's out, we need to find an Allen key that's going to go down into here, so we can then go ahead and remove this cone. Well, it appears that whoever rebuilt this never put any screws in there, which is kind of weird. So we're just going to try to tap it off and see if we can get this off. Because there should be screws in here, and there's none, which again is extremely weird. Whoever did this must not really have known what they were doing. So let's see what we can do here to get this cone off, because this isn't making very much sense to me. I'm kind of glad that I'm pulling this thing apart now, because this is not right. It's coming. See if I can get this off. I'm going to get this off camera. There's no reason for you to watch me whacking it with a hammer. Alright guys, so we went ahead and got this thing apart, and you'll see here the fact that this person did not use the screws to hold these in like they're supposed to. This thing got a bunch of water in it, and you can just see, look at the corrosion that's in these bearings. You can actually see some moisture here on the output shaft, or the input shaft rather, the input to the pump. So I'm starting to think this might be the reason that our motor is actually locked up. But we're going to go ahead now, we're going to get our spline tool out, we're going to put a wrench on the end of this here, we're going to try to get this impeller out and see if we can maybe try to save this housing at the very least. Alright guys, so what we have here is our spline tool. We went ahead, inserted that into our impeller, and then back here on this shaft there's a flat where you can go ahead and put a 12mm wrench. So we just have that 12mm wrench basically on the toolbox holding that, and we're going to go ahead and try to crack this impeller loose. I am very quickly just going to spray a little bit of penetrating oil around the impeller just to kind of help lube it up, because it needs to spin off more or less. So let me go grab some silicone. We're going to spray that. See, we can't get this thing off. Alright, so now let's go ahead, put our 12mm on here, or our 19mm, sorry, and we're going to try to break this loose, but it is very tight. This would be a lot easier if I had a vise, but we might actually end up needing to get the impact gun to break this loose with how tight it is, but let's give it one more shot here. Yeah, all that's happening is it's seizing. I don't know, at first I thought we could possibly save this pump, but it does not look like that's going to be the case. Let me get the impact, see if we can shock this thing off. Alright, so let's see what we can't make happen here. Again, we have the back locked with the 12mm. We're going to go ahead and try to zip this off. This thing does not want to budge. Yep, we might not be able to save this one, guys. I mean, I really need to get this in a vise and see if I can crack it loose, but let's give it one more shot, I guess. Put vise grips on it this time. Charge the compressor up, give it one more shot. If not, we're going to call it. I think we're going to need a new one. Alright guys, so we got this off. I'm going to drop some pictures in the video to show you exactly what I had to do, because I actually had to bring this over to my father-in-law's house because he has a vise. And we basically set this in the vise with the flat end facing down, and then we took this rubber grommet here off of the impeller, and we heated this whole thing. We got it nice and hot, and we were finally able to get it to break loose. But we do have some bad news here with this jet pump, and I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about here. If you'll look, we have several high spots in this wear ring. You can see one here, there's one here, and as we spin this, you'll see more. There's one here, there's one here. This one you can really see. So what happened is, from this thing sitting, salt water got up behind the wear ring here and corroded, and the corrosion is actually causing the wear ring to bulge out. So I have to do some research and see if I can find a company that replaces these wear rings, because a remanufactured jet pump housing is in the neighborhood of $500. Our impeller is fine. I could do a little bit of filing here to kind of clean up these edges. I have no issues running this again, so that will be fine. This is the shaft that we removed. We are going to be installing a KP, Cowie Performance updated shaft assembly and bearing assembly into this jet pump to hopefully prevent future failures. So whether I need to get a new housing or I reuse this housing, it will be getting the KP upgrade kit that we actually have right here. I'll show you that in a later video. But unfortunately, it does not look like we are going to be able to reuse this jet pump as it sits. It is going to need a little bit of work to make right. So thanks for watching. Please, if you're interested in this project, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.